Very rarely are congressional hearings as entertaining as they are when Kristi Noem shows up, because she is obviously cosplay queen. She's a dental hygienist. She's a horsewoman. She's a plumber. She's a nurse. She's all the things. And a liar. But so she appeared before Congress, and chef's kiss to Benny Thompson. He read her to filth.
Whatever got you here, Secretary Noem, I'm glad you found time among your many photo ops and costume changes to testify about why President Trump is seeking more taxpayer dollars and what you plan to do with that money if you get it.
I'll tell you what she plans to do. More photo shoots, more cosplay, more costumes. How much do we love him? He is so great. I mean, here's the thing. She is the Secretary of Homeland Security, and she dresses up in these different roles. It's unbelievable. Her glam squad probably alone is what ate up the budget 2 months in advance. So she is a favorite target. So we have Eric Swalwell asking her about the faked picture that Donald Trump throws up, trying to say that the man taken off the streets in Maryland, sent to an El Salvadorian prison with no due process, is a gang member. So let's watch this. This again, it's fantastic.
Doctor, is that right?
The same protocols that are
Madam
applied
Secretary,
to every
I want you to have credibility, and I want you to be taken seriously. Is this doctored or is it not doctored?
I am taken quite seriously.
Is it doctored or not doctored?
The importance that the president has given me to do.
I understand. Is it doctored or not doctored?
One thing that's important to remember is that every single time a case is built.
Madam Secretary, I have a 7-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 3-year-old. I have a bullshit detector. I'm just asking you, is this doctored or not doctored?
Sir, the protocols in the case built against.
Can you answer the question?
Were exactly the same.
Madam Secretary,
I don't have any knowledge as to that photo you're pointing to.
Okay, can you take
don't, sir,
can you show the photo? Walk with the photo down there. No, that one.
Okay, here's the deal. Trump has been running around with this photo for at least a month. She knows exactly what it is. Instead of saying, I don't know, she just goes with the deflect line. I'm not going to answer. I'm going to deflect. Well, here's the deal. You know that it's doctored because you went down to El Salvador with your big cosplay role and acted like a big tough guy in front of people that were being held in cells in this basically concentration camp in El Salvador. So don't sit there and act like you don't know. You do know. And then Eric Swalwell asks her a question about due process.
Former prosecutor. I have put people away for life sentences who are gang members. I don't need to wear costumes to show how tough I am. What makes me different from you is when I put those individuals away, I did it with the weight of the law behind me. And I yield back.
I just love they're just getting all in her business about these costumes. She should be embarrassed, but you have to remember she's MAGA. They feel no shame. They don't understand what it feels like to be embarrassed because they lie to themselves and are like, everybody thinks my shots of me as a dental hygienist and a nurse is so cool. Everybody thinking that I'm running around in a bulletproof vest with an AR-15, they think I am tough. Like they're so divorced from reality. Okay, so moving on. We have Dan Goldman with Kristi Noem.
It's got to be extremely discouraging to be one of your constituents. To see you fight for a terrorist like this and not fight for them is extremely alarming to me.
I'm fighting for due process, and that's under the Constitution.
The gentleman's time has expired.
You should fight due process.
The gentleman's time.
Okay, here's the deal. Number one, Kristi Noem, you were the governor of South Dakota. You maybe have like 2 million people in the whole state. You run around killing dogs, cosplaying all of these different roles. You were on stage with Donald Trump for 40 minutes while he swayed and danced. You have no credibility to sit there and act like you're taking terrorists off the street. How would we know, Kristi Noem? How do we know if they're terrorists? Because you're not allowing due process. You're social profiling people, which if I was going to do that, I would put Pete Hegseth in the white supremacy category because he has white supremacy tattoos. But here's what the Secretary of Homeland Security does not understand, and that is we have something called asylum. If you leave your country because you are in fear for your life or violence or some type of physical harm, you get to come to the United States and ask for better. Just because someone comes from a foreign country and their skin is black or brown does not make them a terrorist. There is no evidence that the people she's ripping off the streets with a big grin on her face and a big bulletproof vest, that they are who she says she is. The only thing we can do is take her word for it. And we can't take her word for it because we know she is a liar. It is so shocking to me. These people will get up and debase themselves and sit there and act like, well, you're not doing this for your constituents. You want terrorism. Bullshit. You know it's bullshit. You know you're wrong, but you're doubling down because you're MAGA and you have no shame. And the only thing that you have conviction about is being a white supremacist and putting your lips on Donald Trump's ass. She is an embarrassment to the Department of Homeland Security and every single American. But I dare say she is not the most foul or incompetent member of Donald Trump's cabinet. We have lots of contenders. On any given day, it could be any given one of these. But I finally found something that RFK and I agree on. So I'd like to play that for you.
Might be helpful. As you've previously said, you've vaccinated your children. Just because I think this is a helpful answer, and this isn't a gotcha, I promise. If you had a child today, would you vaccinate that child for measles?
For measles, probably for measles. What I would say is my opinions about vaccines are irrelevant. I've directed Jay Bhattacharya.
Sure. No, like I said, I don't want to.
So that everybody can make that decision. But I don't want to seem like I'm being evasive.
Yeah.
But I don't think people should be taking medical advice from me.
Agree. I completely agree. No one should be taking medical advice from you. Unfortunately, for the American public, you are the director of Health and Human Services for the United States of America. And people are looking to you for advice because you lead the agency. So no, nobody should be getting medical advice from someone who is not a doctor. You are a lawyer. You are not a doctor. I find him so offensive when he won't answer the question about measles because he's so in bed with this Maha crowd that he wants them, he's happy for them not to vaccinate their kids. He doesn't want to go against all the conspiracy theories about measles because he needs their support, because otherwise he's a complete fucking dumbass. But while all that's going on, where we have absolute morons, where we're fighting over who is the dumbest person in Trump's cabinet, who is the least qualified to be in his cabinet, we have an actual adult in the room. We have Chris Murphy, who is a senator from Connecticut, that is actually speaking the truth to people.
Level of corruption is so gross that even Trump's most hardened MAGA sycophants are turning against him. I didn't think I'd see the day, but people like Ben Shapiro and Laura Loomer, who fawn over Trump, can't believe he is so crass as to think that it's okay to accept planes as a gift in exchange for U.S. national security concessions. This isn't America first. This is not what he promised the American people. This is Trump first. He is willing to put our nation's security at risk, take unconstitutional bribes, just so he can fly himself and his Mar-a-Lago golf buddies around the world in gold-plated luxury planes gifted to him by foreign governments, all while at the same time he tells Americans that they should be okay buying fewer school supplies for their kids or fewer birthday presents for their grandchildren because he's driving prices up for non-billionaires in this country. All while at the same time, he's kicking 13 million people off of their health care. Trump lines his pockets. He corrupts our foreign policy to enrich himself while driving up prices and stealing health care from average Americans. It's a national security disaster, and it's a moral abomination.
Here's the thing. If Jennifer were on this episode, she would say, we all know Trump has no morals, which we do. But now it's time to look at the triple Trumpers. What are their moral convictions? I think it doesn't speak well for them because these people are willing to put their lips on the ass of a man that will sit there and take a gift and talk about how hot MBS is, never mentioning that he murdered somebody in the embassy, chopped him up, and then poured acid on him and poured him down the drain because he wants to tell him what good friends they are and how hot he is. That's who the president is. He takes money from people that fund terrorists so that his plane has more gaudy gold on it. That's where we are in the United States. Stick with us for more news. We're trying to get to 1 million subscribers.